Welcome to your next edition of Ubuntu for Newbies. Today we're going to be looking at what I believe is the best distribution for any newbie that is first coming over to Ubuntu or Linux. It is Ultimate Edition 3.4. It is not built or created by Ubuntu or Ubuntu people, but it is built off of Ubuntu. The latest edition 3.4 was built off of Ubuntu 12.04. And it is amazing. There are several reasons why I believe this is the best distribution, and we'll go over those in a moment. But just give me a second and let's get this started. So you have your login screen after you get done installing it and everything else. Again, this is Ubuntu 12.04. You have guest session, or you can log straight in. If you click on the little goofy foot looking thing here, you'll see you have a Cinnamon, Gnome Classic, Gnome Classic No Effects, Ubuntu 2D, and XBMC. Cinnamon is another distribution. I believe it's like OpenSUSE or something like that. I don't like it. I don't use it. Gnome is a desktop that has up here in the top left corner the activities button. You click on it, it opens up like another desktop looking thing, and I don't use it either. Don't like it. You can look that up if you want. Gnome Classic, of course, is the standard Ubuntu Classic desktop. It has the, up here in the top left, you'll have the applications menu and the places menu, and you'll have the bar and everything else. Classic with no effects. Ubuntu here, this is your Unity, and then Unity 2D basically. And then XBMC, which is a media center built for Ubuntu or Linux. And I'll be doing a whole video on that because that is one of the most amazing things I have found yet in Linux. But we'll be doing that video later. I always use Gnome Classic. I enjoy it. But if you like the Unity, then you can, of course, go to Ubuntu. This is one of the reasons I believe this is one of the best distributions for newbies, is because you have choices. When newbies come over to Linux or Ubuntu, they really only see what they get. They don't know what's all out there. They don't have that experience. So this gives them more exposure, and they can figure out which ones they like better. So let's just go ahead and go into Gnome Classic. Have this load up. So here we are with the Ultimate Edition 3.4. As you can see, they've already got a lot of things on their bar. You got your applications, your places, your system monitor, gives you a processor monitor. This is the Ultimate Player. This is a music player built by the guys who did Ultimate Edition. Works really well. It's very lightweight, but again, it's just for music. Of course, you got your Firefox. Then you got your Terminator, which is basically a terminal. The one thing that I do like about Ultimate Edition, if you hit on this help button, it'll open up a PDF file. Let's go ahead and this gives you like all the information you've ever wanted to look and how to do things. And they've done a really good job dual booting, how to do all this stuff, and it is here, and you can go through and figure out what you want to do, how you want to do it, and it tells you everything from using wine, crossover, everything. Like I said, it does a very, very good job of explaining things and showing you what you need to do. You know, let's say web browsers. If you're looking at Chromium, it tells you Chromium is open source browser on the Google Chrome browser. This one has no added frills or spills, and this is what you type in to put it in. This is where you can start it. Then Google Chrome, which of course has proprietary drivers like Java and some other things like that, and it tells you all about it. So, and then SeaMonkey, and you can look at all these different clients, all these different stuff, and look through it. I think that's great for newbies because it gives newbies, again, more information, more ways to look at things. Conky, this actually, if I click on it, it'll open up over here. It tells you I'm running a system 64-bit, and it just gives you all your information of what's running on your system and what's going on, what's using the most information. You see I've only got one core because this is a virtual box. I'm not ready yet to show you my actual desktop because I've made a lot of changes to it. So I just want to show you what they got here. This is a news reader called, I think, Yara, something like that. And it gives you all the stuff's going on. If you want to change and add things, just do a right click and you can go preferences, and then you can add your own news feeds, whether it's news channels or if it's other things, and you can just have your feeds there. I like that. It's quick and easy. And then of course this is your volume. This right here is a kind of like a FM tuner. All these different radio stations you can go through and look. Some work, some don't, but you can actually just listen to music that way. It's pretty interesting. And then you have here, this right here is your settings manager. If you right click on it, it'll open it up and it'll say, okay, do you want to use Compiz or MetaCity, window decorator? And if you ever have any kind of issues, you can always just click on it and reload your Windows Manager, and that resets the Compiz and resets things. Or you can just click Settings Manager and it'll open up your Compiz Settings Manager, and you can go through and decide what you want, how you want it, and set everything up. So, and that's the other thing, Compiz is pre-installed, it works great, I really enjoy it. And then of course this is your network, and this is your online accounts and system settings, and has your quick little stuff. So click on, let's say go with online accounts, and this will open up your online accounts. You can add, and then what do you want to add, Google or Windows Live. 12.04 Ubuntu didn't really give you a lot of choices, but I know in 12.10 this is going to be off the chain. So okay, now see down here on the bottom, this will be where your windows pop up, but you also have your navigation window or your different desktops down here on the bottom. So let's go to applications. Now this has got tons and tons and tons of stuff that's already pre-installed. Again, it's what I like about Ultimate Edition for newbies, is because they have so much here. Newbies get more exposure to what they have, to what's out there, things that they have never known before, like this Docky or this tray or the archives or this window navigator. I mean, if you don't know about it, you'll never find it. But this gives you that exposure to see what's out there. Games doesn't come with a lot of preloaded games, but it does come with Play on Linux, which helps to install and use Windows stuff on here. Your graphics already comes with Blender, it already comes with GIMP, it already comes with Inkscape, already comes with all this stuff used for graphics. Internet comes with your Gmail checker, all this stuff's already pre-installed. Again, more exposure for the newbie, so the newbie can find out what's out there. Office, same way. Programming, if you like to do actual programming with HTML or whatever, there's all your programming stuff, your sound and videos, which gives you just tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of stuff for that. System tools. This gives you your this is where you find your administration stuff and your preferences, and then just gives you, again, what's out there and how to use it. Universal access, whether you need an on-screen reader or a screen keyboard, and then of course Wine, which comes pre-installed, and of course Ubuntu Software Center, where you can search and find other software. This all comes pre-installed and works really well. The two drawbacks of using Ultimate Edition is, one, it's like 3.7 gigabytes to download, so you got to burn it to a DVD and install it that way. Takes forever to download because it is so big, but it is worth it because all this comes pre-installed. They've worked with it, they've tried to get all the bugs out, and it works really well. The second drawback, which to some of us will be the biggest drawback, when a new version of Ultimate Edition comes out, this doesn't upgrade to it. Did you hear what I said? Or a new version of Ubuntu comes out, it'll ask you, do you want to update? But if you update to the new version of Ubuntu, you break half this stuff. So once you install and use it, and then new things come out and you want that new stuff, you've got to totally format your hard drive and reinstall a new system. That's a pretty big problem. They're working on trying to figure it out. But for newbies that are just getting into it and really don't know what all is going on, this is something to get into because you're probably going to be dual booting anyway. You can figure out what's all there, and it gives you a great introduction to everything that is Linux, basically everything that Ubuntu has to offer, and you can learn a lot. And it works really well, works really good, like I said. And I can't say enough about what they've done. But if you go to their website, open up Firefox. Their website is ultimateedition.info, and this is basically like their blog of what's going on. But you also have over here on the right, or up here, these are all the different versions of Ultimate Edition that have ever come out. They have a light version for very light stuff, gamers, all that stuff, donations, frequently asked questions, repositories, and about. Over here you have the forum, which I think is on this other slide. This is the forum. You can log in, you can create an account, or you can just go through and search it. If you're looking for help for 3.04, click on it. And, you know, wireless networking, laptop questions, having trouble installing, sound issues, graphics issues, and it helps you figure it all out. They do a really good job. You'll see here the man, he's basically the head of this whole organization. He does a lot, and I can't say enough about him. He does a great job. So I think this is perfect for every newbie out there. So, and here's your places. If you go back to applications, let's go to system tools, go down here, system settings. If you go to appearance, you got all these different desktop things. If you want different desktop themes, if you want to change the theme out, just different things you can do. Now, if you go back to all settings, you have what's called Ubuntu Tweak. I really like this. This is one of the best things that I have seen as far as tweaking your system. This just gives you an overview of your system, how much memory you're using, the name, everything that's going on. Really good. If you go to tweaks, then you have, okay, if you want different fonts, miscellaneous, then you can go through and tweak all your settings. Go back, sound, you know, event sounds. You want to play login sound, input feedback sounds. What sound theme do you want? You know, bunch of stuff like that. And this is just basically your tweaks, your themes. You know, what kind of theme do you want? You can mix and match to get what you want out of it. And of course, login settings. If you want it to show which, you know, login background do you want. If you want to change your background to something else, of course, you have to unlock it. I forget where. Right here, unlock button. Put in your password. Then you can click on this here. Say you want some different login screen. There we go. Then it said open. And now when you go to your login, it'll be different. Or you can tell it to set same as before. Like I said, this is just a bunch of different tweaks, however you want to do it. And you can just play around with it. Your administration, your app center, app sources, desktop recovery, scripts, all this stuff that you now have access to that you never knew about before. So let's log out. See if that changed. It may not have changed. This is a virtual box. So now you can tweak your system. You have all this stuff that's just given to you. You know it works, and everything goes good. Let's look at what the Unity looks like. So like I said, my biggest thing for newbies is exposure. Exposure. The more exposure you have to stuff, the more stuff you know that's out there, the more you can tweak the system to what you want. So, and then of course here's your Unity bar and everything else. Just depends on what you want to play with. Of course, Ubuntu default is Unity, and I suggest for all newbies that are interested in Ubuntu to get used to using Unity. 12.10 is going to come out, and it is an amazing thing. Some of the stuff that they've done with Unity to be able to integrate with things. I mean, really, I hate Unity. Really, I do, but I'm starting to grow on me a little bit. The more they're starting to change things, the more they're starting to have the ability. So I'll be doing a video on 12.10 Beta 2 here shortly. Also going to be using the XBMC Media Center, which is by far the best application for videos I have ever found. And I'm going to explain that all to you, and it's amazing. So stay tuned. Hope to see you all again, and have a good one.